So it's 4:30 in the morning on Monday, and last night we were boiling water for our shower at night, and we ran out of gas. So we had one other option, at least. I've got this pressure cooker, and it's 4:30, and I'm boiling water in the pressure cooker for coffee this morning. So it's breezy, about 70, probably 73 degrees. Super early for me. I woke up about 3 and hadn't been able to go back to sleep. Yeah, it's early. I'm just scrounging around. You can tell my beard, look at it. But I had to go down to the other house to get my coffee, my rich, creamy, frothy Nescafe Classico from the Philippines. So that gets my brain started in the morning. My old trusty thermos. I think it cost me $6 about a year ago. It's kind of getting in rough shape, got a little rust around the bottom. So for $3, what do you expect? Coffee, I use the package. Oh yeah, good morning. I thought it's, again, it's super early, probably 4:45. The sun's not even peeking through the clouds or the trees or anything, but I thought I'd have my cup of morning coffee with you. It's cool this morning. It's a damp coolness here on the island, and with the breeze, it's funny. You always think, all those tropical breezes, tropical paradise, live on an island, all the et cetera, things that you always think, you always dream about. But what they don't really tell you, if you stay out here for days, at least me, and I've 2 or 3 other people that work here, my wife has experienced this, you actually get chapped lips. I don't know why. I think it's because of maybe the salt in the air. We're not that close to the ocean, but the wind blows over the ocean and comes this way, or maybe it's just the constant wind itself. So yeah, so I got chapped lips this morning. Just a little bit of like a wind burn. I don't know. I've got a little tiny thing of Vaseline that I think my wife has. I'll put that on today. Oh yeah, last night we were getting ready to go to bed, and I was getting close to time. I'd put on the tea kettle over there on the stove, and it takes 10 minutes for it to boil. So it's just an old propane 5-gallon propane tank hooked to a little stove top, and you've seen it. But there it is. If you'll notice something very interesting you might not think about, but see those white boards leaning up against it? That's a kind of a fireproof. You use it for like what you would use in America. You'd call it sheetrock. That's called calci board. And you got to put that up there to block the wind, otherwise your flame's not going to do very good. So you take that black bucket and you fill it up with water. It's been sitting there in the barrel all day. We got from the well, and you fill it up about this far from the top, and then you take that hot boiling water and you pour in there, and then we've got a little scoop. In the Philippines, they call it a tabo. If you know anything about the Philippines, you know what that is. But it's a little scoop, big cup like this with a handle on it, and you'll get that warmed up water, and you get your body wet, and then you get your washcloth and put some soap on it, and you wash all over just like you normally would if you had a streaming shower. And once you get done, you've got that hot bucket of water. It's hopefully not too hot. Sometimes you got to reach in that barrel and adjust the temperature a little bit. And then you just take it and you start rinsing yourself off with it. And I'm kind of amazed at how fast you can take a shower and how little water you can actually get by using and get a decent shower. I mean, I actually kind of look forward to it. Now, we're going to put in a shower, but you wouldn't have to. It's just getting back to the simple things of life sometimes. It kind of makes you appreciate when I go back home to Bavia, I've got a decent shower there, and I've got, the soft soap and everything that I like, and you can run water all day if you want to. It's going to always be there. But it's kind of nice to go back to basics, and yesterday we spent a lot of time. I don't know where I'm going to put this in a video, but we spent a lot of time yesterday just collecting rainwater. We have some gutters that don't have downspouts on them yet, and it was just raining softly all day yesterday. And I just had a ball just out there with these water jugs. I got, I'll show you one. Like that one right there. I bet I filled up. I collected 25 gallons of free, fresh, clean rainwater, and I loved it. I mean, I was just running around trying to fill everything. We have containers all over the property because people, you think about it. We don't have a washing machine here. We don't have a dryer. So what do you got to do? You got to get either well water or rainwater or buy water. We did that last summer. But, water's essential. Just think about it. You got, probably have 3 or 4 rooms in your house. You can just go in there and turn it on, hot, cold, whatever. That's great. And, I've taken advantage of that all my life. But here, living that simple life is sometimes different. And we're going to get all that stuff here, but I kind of like it the way it is too. Another thing that I have to deal with out here, and I did a video on it here not too long ago, is bug bites. And when I live in Missouri, and unless I just stay out, too late on a summer's evening, I'm not going to encounter many mosquito bites or anything like that. But mosquitoes are not the only thing. And you might have seen me and Flora carrying a table. She posts on Reels. She posts a lot on Facebook. So if you've never watched her on Facebook, just look up Flora Meek, Meek, Flora, Meek, Meek, and just look her up. She's always posting Reels about her life in the Philippines, and I should put that on the Facebook page every time she posts a reel, but I don't. I don't get around to everything in my life that I should. That's one of the things I probably should do. But yeah, back to the bug bites. We carried that table, this little table that I'm sitting in front of. We carried that from the little caretaker house up here to our bigger kitchen, where we could take advantage of having a nice table up here. Because, you think about it, there's nothing except for concrete counter, concrete floor and concrete walls. So we don't even have running water in the kitchen yet. We got barrels and stuff like that, and that's what we use. And then one other thing I'm going to show you real quick. See, those two water containers there they're just well water. Yeah, they're just well water, or rain. The yellow one was rainwater, and the blue one's well water. But that's how we wash dishes. I didn't show you the whole thing, but you see that black tub on the bottom. Flora, she takes and runs some water over her dishes. She soaps them up real good, and then she'll rinse them, by using those a black container like that. So, again, that's the simple life, but it is simple. It's a lot of work sometimes. So anyway, we carried the table. I'm rambling. We carried the table up here, and I didn't think a thing about it, but little, hour later, something like that, I noticed my arm was itching. I had some red things right there, and I've got some red bumps all up in here, and I thought, man, the mosquitoes must have got me. No, it wasn't mosquitoes. And I've got one or two on my arm here that woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and also the pups, they woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I carried that table, and I carried it with my back to the table, and I just lifted it up, like that. But those ants, I guess, went up my. They're so small. It's a certain type of ant. I don't know what it's called, but they're so small you can't see it. You can't feel them crawling on you, but they will bite you, and they'll raise up. You can see. I mean, they'll raise up a welt on you, and they kind of get a little bit of like a liquid, like a bubble underneath your skin, and they'll last longer than a mosquito bite. And so I've been dealing with that ever since Thursday evening. But that's that simple life, That's going back to nature, That's you always see these videos. Oh, I long for the simple life, Well, do you? Yeah, I like it. I love it out here, but there's always drawbacks to everything. So, but I can remember being in the United States and thinking about living in the Philippines and just like, oh man, someday, and I'd watch YouTube videos. I watched all kind of them. I watched Old Dog New Tricks sometimes. He's a pretty good storyteller. A lot of people they say they don't like his channel for various reasons, but and I may agree somewhat, but it's okay. He's got a great channel. I mean, I can always look at if I don't like the guy or not. He's got a good channel. He's got a big channel. I'll put it that way, and he posts very regularly, and he's worked hard to get his channel where it's at. But I'd watch something like that, or I'd watch a guy named Rike, and I think I don't know, something. He's got a channel where he was in the Philippines. He just started documenting his life, and I liked him. A friend of mine told me about him, and I started watching him, Mike. And so anyway, yeah, but I would just be at home longing to be here, and I'm running a business and, going through the everyday stresses of life, thinking and dreaming about being in the Philippines. And, but once you get here, you realize, you have an idealistic or you romanticize things about, oh, how life's going to be one of these days when you get to where you want to be. Everything's going to be smooth running, and it's just not always like that. So I think life's more about governing your own expectations on how you think things should be. And once you get to the place where you think, you're going to be happy, is be able to accept everything is not going to be exactly like you planned. It's just not. So that's the journey of life. So yeah, but I'm enjoying this morning. I'm glad to share a cup of coffee with you, and I got to get back to my Nescafe here because it's actually getting a little cooler. But I think the stars are out this morning. I think maybe we'll have a little sunshine today. It was a beautiful, beautiful day yesterday. Real quick, we got up and I started in making breakfast. We had ampalaya and eggs, which is a bitter gourd. You cut it up and you make it with eggs. We had rice, and we had we just had mungo. So if you don't know what mungo is, I'm not going to take the time to explain it. Look it up. It's just a very traditional Filipino meal, and that's what we had for breakfast: a couple eggs and ampalaya and mungo, and we started on our way. And it wasn't long. Up in the morning, I'd went to town shopping and went to the market and bought a bunch of ingredients for sinigang, and which we cooked later in the day, a little bit later, probably 11:30. And I'm telling you what, I sat down and I had bought all the ingredients at the local market in Alabama here in Guimaras, and come back, and I was able to find everything I wanted. And so Flora's favorite meal overall is sinigang, and it's a sour kind of a soup. And I bought pork for this soup, and we bought a lot of different ingredients I won't go through because you probably won't know what they are. Unless you're Filipino, you might. But anyway, I just found the perfect mixture for this meal that we both love. So we made it, and I'm telling you what, everything just turned out perfect. That was probably the best sinigang I think I've ever had, or if not, it at least matched the best sinigang I've ever had. And man, we just ate, and I ate too much. And but it wasn't long, the carbs kicked in, and I wanted to lay down and take a nap. So I did. Probably 12:30, I laid down, and I fell into a deep sleep. And I got up later, and Flora never did lay down. So I got up and I opened the door to the bedroom, and it's just cloudy and just a soft, gentle rain falling everywhere, everywhere on the property, all over Guimaras. And it's a Sunday afternoon, and we started collecting the water, and man, there's nothing like it. The sound of rain, you know, the quiet of the rain, and the quiet of a Sunday on an island in the rain. It's Sundays around here, they're very laid back. Every day's laid back here, but on Sundays, I mean, people literally lay up in a hammock. You just get on their phone, whatever they do, cook. They might visit family, but Sunday is a laid back day here on the island. I mean, it goes way back. So it was just, I told her, I said, it's probably one of the most perfect days I've ever had in my life yesterday. It was a very beautiful day. So I hope this was entertaining to you. I don't know, sometimes I don't like to make random videos because they're not very searchable. You know, YouTube might not pick it up, whatever, and share it out there. So if you like it, share it. If you had a question about anything, go down in the comments, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. I appreciate everybody that comments on the channel and everybody that watches, and I will see you next time.